Excitement and dramatics.
It certainly has, Jan. 3 years ago, Dave Gwendon bowled 300 in our championship match. 2 years ago, it came right down to the final ball. And last year, we even had a tie in the championship match, necessitating a roll-off. So I expect more of the same this afternoon.
Well, let's talk about the 5 players that'll bring the excitement to us today. He averaged higher than anyone in the field and yet qualified 5th, Brad Angelo.
Well, Brad actually got into the loser's bracket. This is a double elimination tournament. He got into the loser's bracket quickly. Had to bowl a lot of games, but did find a shot. His experience on Team USA helped him out, and here he is this afternoon trying to go all the way up.
Well, his first opponent he'll have to meet is Nick Wissinger, and Nick has bowled megabuck tournaments for 11 years, but it's his first top 5 finals. What was his key this week?
Well, his key was a number of things. He felt that he was fortunate, but he also likes tough conditions, and he likes that inside angle. He picked up his speed and started bowling very well.
Well, whoever wins that first match is going to have to face the experience of Pervis Granger. He made the show 2 years ago and finished second to Don Scudder.
Well, he missed a 9-pin a couple of years ago, and I still think that resonates in his brain, but he's put that behind him now. He's since moved to Hong Kong, so he kind of adds to the flavor of an international event here at the International Eliminator.
He certainly does. In our number 2 position, it's Tom Brennan, and hey, Mike, it's his first megabuck tournament, and he just took 4 years off of bowling.
And he looks very, very calm and relaxed. The 4 years was spent in the Navy. Maybe they taught him a little things about patience and discipline and everything else, because he certainly has been that all week long. I expect that of him this afternoon.
Well, Kurt Bogner's in that most enviable position of having 2 chances to win tonight. And in fact, Mike, he almost did not bowl this event.
It's interesting how things sometimes work out. A friend of his won a free event into this, talked Kurt into coming. He came, and look where he is. However, he has the least experience of anyone on television this afternoon. So he's going to be a little bit nervous, but he's got that added benefit that he can lose that first game and still win the second game and win this event. So maybe he'll settle down and bowl like he's capable of.
Well, Mike, let's get up to that booth because I'm anxious to see what's going to happen. It's our first match right now between Brad Angelo and Nick Wissinger. They just shook hands, Mike, and they're ready to start. Brad's going to start the match. It was Nick's choice. He chose to have Brad Angelo start.
And we're using lanes 19 and 20 here at Samstown, and the scores were not real high on this pair all week long. So we'll see if the bowlers have figured something out in the half hour, 45 minutes of practice that they've had. Right,
Mike, because in fact, in some of the rounds we watched, several players on that pair didn't even make it through.
3-6-10 on the first shot by Brad, a little soft with that speed.
Now, Brad has quite a bit of experience. As you mentioned, he's on Team USA currently, 97 and 98 Team USA member. So he's comfortable bowling in front of people.
He's a 28 years of age. He's got a world of talent. He's already got a lot of experience. So I don't think the lights or the situation here intimidated him at all. Maybe the lanes do a little bit, but that would be about all.
Covers that spare up nicely. Flattening it out, changing balls there to shoot the spare.
A little tip for our viewers at home. Most of the pros nowadays and the very good amateurs will definitely try and go straighter at those spares, many times changing bowling balls.
This is our first look at Nick Wissinger. Yeah, crossing over, going Brooklyn, and we saw a lot of that, Mike.
Well, again, it was a very difficult lane condition all week long, and if you made a little bit mistake left of your target, as we see his average, 207, the ball many times crossed over and got Brooklyn. Actually, many matches were won with guys getting Brooklyn strikes instead of that mistake going through the heart of the pins.
And you said that, Mike. You came in, we sat down to watch the matches early on yesterday, and you looked at me and said, hey, this is going to come down to who carries those Brooklyns when they make a mistake, and you were absolutely right. And he capitalized on it.
That's the key, Jam. When you get that break of getting that lucky Brooklyn strike, you got to make it good, and he did.
It's a different type of bowling here, and I know, as I've experienced it the last 3 years, it's a different pressure. You're bowling just one game. Half the field is being cut. It's just a tremendous pressure. You don't have time to line up. You have to make something happen, and bottom line, you have to score.
It's a sprint right out of there. You got to get out of the blocks fast, or you're going to be left and never make it to the finish line.
And it doesn't have to be pretty, just so the numbers are high enough.
Now you see the 3-9-10 that he leaves. His mistake went through the nose, where Nick's mistake went Brooklyn. And so that's the key in these matches so many times. Difficult spare. He's going to have to move left, throw it off of his strike line, and use the same ball. No changing balls here. Hit that 3-pin on the right thin enough, but with enough drive to get out the 9 and convert the 10.
Well, Well, Brad struck me as one of the players with a lot of confidence as I watched him bowl.
At the spare. Oh, I thought he had it all the way. It looked perfect. Good young bowler. See him all the way back. A little pre-bent knees. 5 steps. Controls the swing all the way through. Kind of hoist that backswing. Very little slide. Power coming through. Kind of a stiff left leg coming through there.
There's quite a few players that do that nowadays, though they kind of plant, kind of pop up, but they can hit the ball real well.
You wonder, though, what it'll be like 20 years from now, how that'll drain on them.
10 years from now.
Trying to find something, this time coming in light. And he struggled in the early rounds when there was a fresh conditioner there.
He did, and we talked to him about that, Mike, and he said, in fact, last night he was drilling up a bunch of different bowling balls, hoping he'd find something, because he went out in an early morning round.
Yeah.
What did he shoot, 166?
Or less, I think it was in the 150. It was a particular round where they were taking a lot of players, and he didn't make it. There were only 19 players on the squad. They took 16, and he was one of the 3 that didn't make it, as he shoots a half a loaf and gets the spare.
And it was a 166 game he shot. The rest of his games were huge since he averaged 218.
And we see Nick is a 2-time Michigan State amateur champion, 95 and 97.
He's also a lane inspector for the American Bowling Congress, does that part-time. And again, Brooklyn on lane 20.
Well, he says if it's going to strike there, why change anything? Nick Wissinger, again, back toward the end, 5-step player, a little freer swing here. Heads steady, stays down, falls off balance there to the right quite a few times.
Yeah.
And that can catch up with you sometimes in the course of a longer tournament.
Now, I thought yesterday perhaps it was because of things he was trying to do differently that affected his stance there. Ooh, and he opens up with a 4-bagger. Nick Wissinger is leading. We'll be back in a moment. The championship round finals of the International Eliminator is being brought to you by Ebonite. With Ebonite, you bowl to win. We're back. It's the 4th frame. Brad Angelo trails by 44 pins. He's working on a spare. However, Nick has opened up with a 4-bagger against him.
And again, 2 fortuitous strikes with Brooklyn's on the right lane. Putting pressure on Brad, though. However you get him, you get him. He's got to start striking himself. Change his balls.
Ball coming in light, and again, this is part of the trouble he had. A lot of over-under early on in the day, but they opened up for him as he went.
And over-under being that sometimes it slides when you get it in and hooks too quick when you get it right. And he did run into that trouble early, so he knows he's way behind. He's got to make some kind of change, and he changes bowling balls. Used that same ball at the 7-pin.
And he was just hoping if he can get through a match or two, he felt he'd have a really good shot because they would open up for him. So right now he's trying to figure out what to do. Nick is sitting back and kind of just staring straight ahead.
And saying, hey, I got 4 in a row up there. You get yours. Brad looking for his first strike.
Brad had a big week here, even in the sweepers. There's so many events that go on here, but he took home almost $10,000 in the sweepers alone before the main event started. Comes up with a light strike there.
And that'll relax you, Jan. He knows he's already made, you know, well over $10,000 already this week, you know, and he's guaranteed at least $6,000 for 5th here. So sometimes that'll relax you and he can get himself going.
Really takes the pressure off some of those other events. We were just talking about Sebastiana Vineyard's Early Bird, the Dexter Recruiter Doubles, Dynathane Ladies Bracket, Turbo 2-in-1 Seniors Bracket, and the Ebonite Sweepers. So a lot going on here.
A lot going on here. And a lot of money to be made in the sweepers and all the different brackets that they have and different things. A lot of money involved in this tournament.
And you definitely want to bowl it because anybody can make the show here. We've proven that, all different styles, abilities, levels of experience. So come, you know, give them a call. It's 1-800-VEGAS-95. And the event in 99 will be January 7th through the 15th. And if you enter by July 15th, you'll receive 3 free early bird entries.
And you can see we've got 5 different styles as we get to our other 3 players on the telecast this afternoon. All of them different. Some of them playing inside, others playing different places as he strikes again on the left lane. So anybody can win in this event.
Boy, he's definitely lined in on the left lane. Now, Brad's going to have to really double here. He needs to get something going, put a little bit of pressure on Nick, because right now Nick's not feeling anything, and Brad has it all on his shoulders. It's high game this week, 248. There's the 166 we talked about. And that's unusual in this event. You know, sometimes a low game like that, although because it is a second chance, he was able to still stay in the event. Beautiful strike for Brad, and Mike talked to Brad about what he was going to do with that money if he wins tonight.
As a matter of fact, there is. I'm getting married in the fall, and I'll probably use that for a down payment for a house.
Well, he's trying to add to that down payment right now. Down only 34. One more strike would cut it to 24.
The wedding date, November 14th of '98. His fiancée, Michelle Daniels, and she's been here with him this week.
Determined look on that face.
Very serious bowler. Ooh. Oh, and it seems like Mike right now, this ball, he doesn't quite have enough back end reaction, and the other one he was getting too much reaction.
Yeah, this one goes too long and the other one hooked too soon. So at the 1-2-4-10, he's got to get to the left of that head pin and send the head pin into the 10 pin to convert the spare.
Beautiful spare, and Michelle Daniels, his fiance, looks on very happy. Who will win this first match? Find out when we come back. Nick Wissinger back up in the 7th frame.
And he's trying to get on the right side of the head pin as he leads by 38. We can see he's moved up in front of the ball return, taking small steps.
And he did get it. He did get it to slide, but fortunate there.
I'll tell you what, he's had a variety of fortunate strikes on this right lane. And look at how, this is what a lot of players do. He switched to 4 steps there too, Jan. He normally takes 5. He gets it to the right of the head pin, or right of the 1-3, gets the pin, the head pin off the sideboard to get the 2.
And that increases his lead to 48, and now on lane 19, the lane he was zoned in on, just came high, leaving the 4-7. But a lot of the players did that. In front of the ball return on the right lane, they changed their steps, they changed the size of their steps, the speed, or even, like you just said, reduced it by 1 step.
Amazing the talent of players today as he goes straight at the 4-7 and has it.
Okay, Mike, I've always thought that somebody should create a ball return that is off of the approach, because I think the approach is the bowler's right. They should have that entire approach.
Well, there are some. I mean, in foreign countries, I know in Japan at Tokyo Port Bowl that ball return is back off, and some of the new ones at the ABC tournaments, the ball return is way back off of that. So bowling's getting there. It just takes time.
Although the bowlers didn't used to use all that part of the approach, but now they are with their new reactive bowling balls. Michelle looking on as Brad strikes. But he trails by 46 pins. Not a lot of time left. He really has to set one up in the 9th.
Well, it isn't over. You're right. He has to set. He can still take it out the sheet for 221. Right now, Nick Wissinger is going at a 237 pace, but anything can happen. So a strike here keeps him alive.
He could still have a chance. This is his 4th eliminator he's participated in, 4 for 4. However, he's never even made the top 16 till this year.
For a double. Fall? Is he going to fall?
Oh.
He got the 2-pin out of there. I thought the 8, you know, I think it has to tilt 8 degrees for it to fall over, and it was 7.5.
Yeah, they have that topple angle, right? Little hollow spots in the pin, so allow him to topple over.
You get a replay, the light hit. And again, it was the 4-pin there that fell into the 2. And we see that 8. Look at how far it's tilted over there.
I think if the 4-pin didn't lay into it, it might have fallen over.
Well, it finally caught up with him.
Yeah, exactly. Finally did not get the break on lane 20, leaving the 310.
Changes balls. At the 310, has the spare.
And this match is over. Angelo finishes in 5th position for $6,000. Nick Wissenger will move on to meet never nervous Pervis Granger. We're ready for the second match at the International Eliminator. Pervis Granger's going to start. He was our #3 qualifier and has a bit of experience here.
Well, he's got experience, but I think he's making a strategic error right away. No, he's not.
Ah.
He's making Nick start the match.
They changed it.
That's what he should do. I mean, make Nick finish on that right lane.
Sure, that's the lane he struggled on. We were surprised. We talked about that during break, and we were surprised to see that when they stepped up to start the match.
Right back in the pocket, leaves that 4-pin on lane 19. 6 strikes on lane 19, 3 on the right lane, and all 3 of them were fortunate.
They were 2 Brooklyns and 1 trip in the 2-pin, right? So a really good move by Pervis to make him finish on the right-hand lane. In that first match, Nick Wissinger defeated Brad Angelo 245 to 189.
And again, Brad only bowled 2 games under 200 till this game, so it was only the 3rd game he bowled under 200. And we see Pervis fortunate, 197 average, and here he is.
Right, he made it through 2 of the rounds. He was the cut number, a 188 and a 169.
169.
169 made it through in the winner's bracket. That's almost unheard of here.
Well, and it's indicative of the tournament, you know, that how the bowlers out there, hey, they have a chance in this. He got in there with 169. Light hit here. The old wall shot, that's the traditional wall shot that Dick Weber made famous. Hit him thin and watch him spin.
And Mike, this is why these scores we're talking about. If you're a scratch bowler, get out here and bowl this event. It's the only megabuck tournament with prize funds that are guaranteed top to bottom. Pervis, he's lined up, he's ready to go here.
Well, everybody seems to like that left lane. Wissinger, again, now will probably move up in front of that ball return on the right lane. And again, that gives him room so he can play deeper on the lane.
There he goes, Mike, you're right. And again, light.
Leaving the 2-pin this time where he didn't kick it out.
It's such a good shot on lane 19 and not on 20. And I know that's something at home that people sometimes struggle with, but you might have to play 2 completely different lines on a pair of lanes.
And he's taking a different number of steps.
Covers the spare.
Wissinger, 2 spares. Granger, 2 strikes. Already the difference is 11 pins.
Yeah, we'll see how Nick Wissinger handles the pressure of being down in the match. And there's Mike Kaufman, the tournament director, tournament manager of Samstown, and he's the director of bowling here also. He manages the International Eliminator and the bowling center and all the bowling that goes on here.
Wow, that one kind of got away from him. He sailed it out there. Fortunate to just leave the 1-2, an easy spare. But that one definitely got away from Nick. He's trying for a lot of loft and speed as it is, and must have hung on his hand just a little bit there.
And sometimes more speed is sometimes hard to control, although we saw him do it very well yesterday.
Here's a first shot, and we see so far left, and it just sails on him. He just never got it where he wanted to, but boy, it amazes me how these guys can play that angle and throw it over the gutter.
Yeah, they're over the left gutter cap and setting it down on the left side. I know we talked yesterday a little bit that a couple of years ago, the first year of the tournament, Dave Gwendon, who won the events, set one down in the left channel. A right-handed bowler set it down in the left channel.
In the left channel.
There's a good shot by Pervis there.
Leaves the soft 10-pin.
There's John Falzone. He's the PWBA president.
Serious look on his face there. Cross lane at the 10-pin. Pervis doesn't change bowling balls. Just changes hand releases. No trouble with the spare.
And that works the same. The whole point is to just reduce your hook on the ball, and you can do it with ball changes, hand position, speed, a lot of difference.
As long as you hit it.
That's right.
And we see there the difference right now, 12 pins. Pervis has them. Back to the lane 19. It's the 4th frame where he is very, very comfortable.
And, you know, he has a nickname. I mentioned earlier, it's Never Nervous Pervis. I asked him earlier why people started calling him that. He said, I don't know. I said, well, are you ever nervous? He said, well, honestly, yeah, once in a while. Gets a break on that shot. He's smiling. Smiling after that ball.
Smiling after that shot. Trips out the 4-7. Wissinger. Here's a replay of that trip 4. Watch the 2 pin. Second to the head pin, goes to the sideboard, gets both the 4 and the 7. So right now he's still, through 3.5 frames, is leading. Pervis is leading by 12 pins.
Nick Wissinger stepping up in the 4th, working on 3 spares after he started last match with 4 strikes. And he just has not found anything on lane 20.
Amazing. He shot 240 the first game and really never hit the pocket on that lane. Again, a break, leaving only the 3 pin, an easy spare. Changes balls to shoot the spare.
Nice cover. And once again, if you want to bowl this event, you can call 1-800-VEGAS-95. You can enter by July 15th, and you'll receive 3 early bird entries into the tournament. This year we had Germany represented, 31 bowlers from Germany, Austria, Mexico, Canada.
It's an international event. And we got somebody from Hong Kong on the telecast.
Ooh, he likes that lane.
He does like that lane, but he doesn't get to throw but a couple more shots on it. Pervis right now seems to be reasonably wired in on both lanes, liking the left lane a little better. Leading by 12, can increase it to 22 with a double. Actually leading by 13. Oh, he knocked that 10 pin out of there.
Whoa, I wasn't sure that was going to carry.
Neither was he. Pervis, 5-step player. Kind of crouches a little bit. Nice push away, free swing. Watch the backswing, shoulder high, nice long slide. Good balance at the foul line. That's what you teach it, folks. And here's the result right here. Watch that 6 pin. Just nudge out that 10. Increases that lead to 23 pins.
He never gets in a lot of trouble. He can take that lead to 33 pins right here with another strike. And as I say, he doesn't get in trouble.
Well, he was just a little anxious and careful on that shot and didn't go through it like he had before. Eased up and came up with the line a little bit, left the baby split.
You see his face, he knew it, shaking his head. Boy, you just so many times you want to be able to get that ball back after you release it.
Well, the problem with that shot, Jan, though, was created in his mind. I mean, the thinking was just protecting rather than aggression.
Well, Pervis makes a great cover on that spare and maintains a 21-pin lead. But when we come back, you'll have Mike Durbin with a special guest.
Joining me here at Sam's Town is PBA Hall of Famer and 20-time PBA champion, Wayne Webb. Wayne, what brings you to the International Eliminator?
We're one of the co-sponsors of the Eliminator. It's a really great tournament.
Who is we?
Dynathane. I've been involved with Dynathane now for 2 years, and we make very high-resin bowling balls.
Well, if I'm a bowler out there watching this telecast, why should I buy your ball over another ball on the market?
I think our company is very unique. We're in a situation that I make all the bowling balls, and I have to make a living with them still. So when we're sitting down and working on these balls, they're not ready until I think they're ready, and I've got to go out on tour and try to make a living.
So Wayne Webb's credibility is behind each and every ball.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much. Back to you, Jan.
Thanks, Mike. And I'll tell you, he's putting himself on the line.
He certainly is, backing it up with his performance, too. Right now, Wissinger trailing in this match right now by 21 pins, can cut 10 of that off the lead with a double.
And you know, okay, not fortunate again, bad break, but it was on the nose.
Yep.
You talked about it. We were sitting here talking. Do you think he should have just stayed where he was and kept throwing Brooklyn?
Yeah, sometimes our pride gets in the way, you know? I mean, the Brooklyn was a strike. It's better than a double pinnacle any day.
And that's where I'm talking about the different line of thinking, where it takes 2, needs to take the wood on that. A different line of thinking where score is the absolute most important. When we're bowling a tournament, say a tour event, and we're going across pair to pair, and we're going to bowl 18 games or 42 games, you want to line up because ultimately you're hoping to hit the pocket. You think you'll score the best that way. But here, it doesn't really matter how you knock it down.
Again, it's a sprint. Yeah, it absolutely doesn't matter. And those Brooklyn strikes, the scorecard can't tell the difference.
I see him turn around and talking to some friends. He just doesn't know what to do on lane 20. Meanwhile, Pervis Granger leads by 35 pins, stepping up in 7th frame.
And he's not having much trouble on lane 20 at all, but Pervis throws the ball much straighter than Nick.
There's that light hit, pins dance, and he carried that earlier on lane 20.
And we get a classic example there. As Pervis made a slight mistake here, he got it just a little wide, as we see his good balance and good follow through there. His ball stays in play. He keeps it in the field of play. We look at his body English as he leans to the left, hoping the ball will hook a little to the left. Didn't quite make it. He thought he was going to get it. At the 7 pin.
Was that wow or wham?
Wow.
Covers up the 7 pin.
So 34 pins, still the difference here.
You know, a lot of these players come out, look at the scoreboard through 7. They come out and tune up their scales in the mini eliminator. And Mike, that's going to take place this year, June 29th through July 7th. And Vernon Peterson was the winner last year. They can come out and bowl that event. Give them a call. It's 1-888-617-6081. And it's at Sam's Town Hotel, Gambling Hall and Bowling Center right here in Las Vegas.
And he put on quite a show on the telecast as he just buzzed through the entire field.
And that's a $50,000 first place prize. Ooh, pins are dancing now, and so is Pervis.
Well, Pervis knows he's got a good reaction. He knows his opponent is struggling. As we see a replay, watch it come in light, watch the 5 pin, and the head pin comes off of there like a rocket. His reaction, yep, smacks those hands. He knows he's got this match well in hand.
Okay, he just tried to fire that one.
Well, he got it in the pocket again.
And we saw him do a lot of that. It worked for him yesterday.
But when your opponent is bowling in the 2 teens and 220s, Pervis right now going at 216 pace, it puts pressure on Nick at the 10 pin.
You saw that he bowls out of Thunder Bowl lanes and out in Michigan. And a lot of these players do a lot of time practicing, and they appreciate the bowling centers letting them come in and practice. Nick Wissinger trailing by 34 pins. Just 2 frames left.
And he's still alive, though, Jan. He could still win this match. Must strike here, though.
And, of course, lane 19, no problem.
That'll be interesting to see if Pervis gets a little defensive here. I mean, a strike here basically locks up the match. He needs to stay aggressive and go through the shot. Don't finesse it.
All right, he's on 216 pace. Ooh,
right there.
He was aggressive.
He was aggressive, left the 4 pin, good speed. Light a little bit the last time in the 7th frame, 9th frame now he leaves the 4 pin, but this is going to force him to make this spare and have a good count in the 10th frame.
Right. He's an excellent spare shooter. When I had talked to him 2 years ago, and that was one of his keys at that time, his spare shooter. He felt it kept him in a lot of events.
And he missed the 9 pin 2 years ago, so I mean, a little mental error there. I think basically right now what he needs is 9, and he locks it up.
9 on the first ball will lock it up. If he gets less, he'd have to spare or get additional pins.
That's enough right there. That's a strike. Pervis Granger's won our 2nd match and is going to move on.
And he's laughing.
He's having a good time out there.
And this is, I recollect this from 2 years ago. He was laughing a lot until the end of that game there.
Yeah, when game costs you, missing a spare costs you 50,000.
It's not so funny.
Yeah. Little light leaves the 4-8.
Nick Wissinger finishes up in 4th position, 12,500.
Not a bad paycheck, Jan.
Well, Pervis Granger wins this match. When we get back, we'll see the other finishers, and I'll have a special guest for you. Well, we're down to 3 players. 580 entries started this event. It's actually averaged to make the television show, 197.81, which was Pervis Granger.
And it's a double elimination tournament with a great prize fund, $100,000 on top.
And each match important as it reduces by half. These are some of the early bird and sweeper winners throughout the week.
And Tim Max, the son of the first player that I beat, Jimmy Mack, to win my first title.
Ooh. Brad Angelo, you saw him in the opening match of this tournament.
And of course, Pat Healy, a great amateur player.
David Garber made this show a couple years back.
And some of the other players, a lot of money to be made in these early bird events.
Get your tune-up at the Mini Eliminator. It's June 29th through July 7th, right here at Sam's Town in Las Vegas. $50,000 first place prize. Call 1-888-617-6081. Next match coming up between Pervis Granger and Thomas Brennan Jr. We're ready for a semifinal match. Pervis Granger's going to start. It was Tom Brennan's choice.
And he's chosen to finish on lane 19. Everybody seems to like that lane better than lane 20. But Pervis, again, he had 6 strikes, 4 of them on 19, 2 on 20.
And he hit the pocket a couple times, didn't carry on 20. So he's pretty much lined up on both lanes. And there's that lineup to the Brooklyn side.
Well, when you make that mistake and can get the Brooklyn strike, it brings a smile. Especially from an experienced player who knows better than to listen to those thoughts that are telling you, that that's bad.
Right. It's not bad. If you're going to win, it's not bad. Tom Brennan Jr., first look at him, 25 years old from Hopewell Junction, New York.
And again, we said he spent 4 years in the Navy.
Really just got back to bowling recently, and tit for tat. Second Brooklyn.
Kind of walks in slow motion coming back from the foul line.
I think he was a little disappointed in the shot. The youth not saying, okay, who cares? I
He's
got a
25,
right.
yes.
213.4 average, and his first Megabucks entry ever. And he really handled the pressure well.
He's been very poised and calm all week long. Trying for a quick double here on lane 19, 5-step player. Back-to-backers.
Whoa.
That one, the head pin fell into the 5-9. Watch it. Watch that head pin here as it goes over. It turns sideways. Actually, it was the 5-pin.
5-pin
The
took out the 9.
5-pin took out the 9.
Head down, but hey, he opened up with a double. Now Pervis coming high on 20. A little bit of a delay there. It may take him a little time to get back into his rhythm.
He didn't take any practice shots in between that I watched. He just stood around.
Yeah, that's unusual. He was allowed to go over to the pair adjacent, 17 and 18, and take some practice shots. 869 high series.
Big time there, I'll tell you what.
25 300s.
At the 610, straight at it. Again, doesn't change balls. Pervis has only got 1 ball out there, Jan.
Bill Supper from Ebonite, Vice President of Sales. Ebonite also a sponsor of this event.
Big sponsor of bowling.
Yes, they are. A lot of sponsors here. In addition to Sam's Town, we have Miller Brewing Company, Sebastiana Vineyards, AMF, Coca-Cola, Dexter, Dynathane, Ebonite, Storm, Strikeforce KR, and Turbo 2-in-1.
You got them all in there.
A lot of sponsors. Thank you very much.
Pervis back on 19, ripping the rack.
Okay, now Tom. First big show. He's only been on some local TV shows. Do you think he's going to try and make a big move here?
No, I think he's just going to try and make a better shot. I think we watched him in practice, and he was striking on this right lane in practice. So he just needs to make a better shot. Hit what he's looking at with good speed. You can't get soft out here. Well, he says if it's striking over there, why change?
Well, he's shaking his head. I don't really think he wants to do that, but hey, I almost thought that was going to carry. Looked like the head pin went, or
It had a chance.
coming
It
off the
definitely
wall.
had a chance. At least an easy spare. Just the 6-pin. Changes balls. Straight at it. No trouble with the spare. Again, a 5-step player. Back of the approach. Watch the left step. Now he pushes the ball. Pretty free swing. Head goes forward. Head and shoulders go forward a little bit there, but pretty good balance at the foul line.
Sometimes can be tough to have that balance when you're bowling for this much money out there.
Well, when that head and shoulders go forward, a lot of times that will destroy leverage, Jan, and it shortens the backswing. There's some problems there.
That's an important note because people don't often realize that, and I see that as a problem in a lot of people, including myself. And you do lose that leverage if you lean too far forward.
A little smoother on that one. Ball right in the pocket. Strikes on lane 19. Pervis trying to even the match here.
Well, he's actually trailing by 9 here. He can take a 1-pin lead if he strikes.
Oh, bad break. Leaves a 5-7 on a hit that has been striking frequently. Tough spare here, Jan.
Well, he's been picking about every spare he can. We'll have to see if he can convert this one.
And you see it just, a headpin came flying off of there, but the ball was just dead.
Yeah, the headpin came across tough, though. Normally it'll take out either the 7 or the 5.
And the 4-5-7 was there. He just barely got the 4. Wants to hit that 5-pin on the right, slide it into the 7. Gives it room. Gives it room. Oh!
This man can shoot some spares. He has just avenged himself, or gotten his revenge for that 9-pin a couple years ago.
Watch the ball now, make the move. This is how it's done, folks. Perfect. And it was like he just knew it. Just another spare, folks. I've done that before. 9 pins the difference. We see the scoreboard.
And he has been perfect this game on lane 19. Ooh, this time the 10-pin, though.
In the pocket, but good speed, a ball that doesn't hook much. Sometimes that happens, you know, the ball hitting a little weak, 5-7, weak 10.
You saw Mike Kaufman earlier and John Falzone, but a couple of the other people really involved in this event. Janet Segala, tournament coordinator, does a great job. And Frank Ellenberg, he's our tournament director.
Every year.
Right, not only a tournament director, but he won the 78 ABC Masters, the 81 PBA Syracuse Open, and he has a 24-year ABC average of 206, 6th on the all-time list.
6th on the all-time list. Tom Brennan. Chance to take a big lead right in this match. He's up by 9, can increase it to 19 and then 29 with a couple of strikes.
Bowls out of Fishkill Bowl in Fishkill, New York.
In Brooklyn twice on this lane.
Gave it room. Oh.
That lane is just hooking.
It is, the middle of that lane. And Mike, we can explain this a little bit because I know many of the people at home, when they're bowling, if they feel that the more they move left, the more oil or conditioner they're going to find. That isn't always the case.
It isn't the case here, Jan. I mean, the reason they're moving left really is to give more angle when the ball hooks too soon as he changes balls to shoot the 610, but he's not moving into more oil as he moves left. We asked him earlier if he likes tough conditions. I like these tough conditions.
Yeah, I do, Mike. I think they benefit the better bowler. The emphasis is more on spares rather than luck and carry.
Well, right now, he's had a little luck and some carry.
And made some spares.
And some spares. He's got all the bases covered. And the difference in the match right now, 10 pins.
Both players clean to this point. That difference, Tom Brennan's opening double.
And also that he's making Pervis finish on that right lane.
high on the left lane. Now, he hasn't been as lined up on the left lane as the other players have
No,
been.
he has. Wait, really, he's only hit the pocket one time. And, you know, the strike back in the third frame. Every other shot has either been high or Brooklyn. We see a replay again, way left. Ball hooks right in the middle of the lane, doesn't get over to the Brooklyn, leaves the 6-9-10. Relatively easy spare.
Well, with that spare, he leads by 7, but it's crunch time right now to find out who will make it to the championship match. Don't go away. Pervis steps up in the 6th frame. He trails by just 7 pins. Working on a spare here.
And I really don't think he's going to do anything any different. He wants to keep the speed up, keep the ball in the pocket, figuring if he does it often enough, he can get down a double. Trying to get something to work on going to his good lane. High. Breaks out the 310, leaves only the 3-pin. And again, coming out of that commercial break, sometimes you relax a little bit. The intensity level drops a little bit. Not quite as much adrenaline, and he didn't make a good shot.
Fortunate to have an easy spare, though, and difference now 8 pins with a spare.
He's got to bowl 2 more frames on that right lane. He's got to find a way to get a strike on it sometime. He hasn't yet.
Well, the important thing right now, Mike, as he covers the spare, he needs to make sure he stays aggressive on the left lane and keep striking on that lane.
Right. He's only lost 2 pins in count. He's down by 8 pins in this match. We've got 4 frames left. It's really anybody's ball game, and he knows that his opponent is on shaky ground.
And that sometimes is an important advantage to know. 25 career 300s for this man. Not Pervis Granger I was referring to
Never.
as we caught a look at
Oh,
Tom
never
Brennan.
nervous, yeah. Something to work on.
And again, a 4-pin on lane 19.
So he's talking to himself. He knows he's running out of frames, but he also knows that he's still in this match. It's within 10 pins, and if he can keep it there to the 10th frame, he figures he's got more experience than the young guy. Cross lane at the 4-pin.
However, he is going to have to finish on lane 20.
Right. There's an upside and a downside.
Covers the spare, no problem, staying clean.
Pervis with 3 9s in a row. As we watch Tom, we see him pat that rosin on there, wipes the ball. Now he holds the ball over the air dryer. He's trying to get all the moisture out of that thumb hole so that he'll get the exact right feel. Puts his hand in the ball as he's getting up on the approach. Now he's basically ready, picking out that target.
Leading by 9 right now. And again, Brooklyn on lane 20.
The 3rd one he struck, the 4th time he's been there. So, well, however you knock them down,
Well,
they're gone. And we see you just can't. He's playing right around the 5th arrow. The ball crosses over. The 3-pin trips out the 6, and he says, hey, that works for a left-hander. Why not me? He looks down. He's disgusted, but it's a strike. It's a filled frame. It keeps his lead.
We talked to him last night. You see that scoreboard 9-pin lead for Tom Brennan about what was unique about his game or what was a strong point of his game. And he said his instincts are usually correct. So I wonder if he's going on instinct, trying not to make too big a move on lane 20.
Again, out of the pocket, fortunate to just leave the 9-pin. In this match, in this particular game, all the breaks are going Brennan's way. Every single one of them so far.
And what would you do at this point in the match, Mike? Would you try to move? See that shot right there?
He almost can't at this point. As we see that ball, kind of a Jersey squasher type thing, leaving the 9-pin. He has to basically stay where he is and where he threw strikes in practice and try and make better shots and keep the speed up. And make the spares. He can't make any mistakes. That's just got it. Oh, my goodness. That span is getting shorter as the frames are getting smaller.
You can hear that ball hitting the thumb hole.
Thank goodness it did, or he might have missed it.
7
Pervis
international titles.
wants a re-rack on the right lane. 8th frame, it's really getting down to crunch time. And again, he's shaky in all of them right now. He hung into the spare too long, didn't get out of it clean. It did hit the thumb hole, and you can see here in our rack cam that he just clips the 9-pin. That would be a rake cam. That's the rake down there, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It's the rake, yeah.
Yeah. Pervis gets his re-rack.
He really important right now if he's hoping, hey, if I can find a way to hit the pocket, I want to carry it. Give me the best rack possible.
Well, especially when you're playing inside like this and you throw the ball relatively straight.
You don't have the angle of entry into the pocket that you need to carry most times.
So fear sets in. Yeah, I know. Very aware with that.
I do too.
Trying to get something to work on. Oh. That's sometimes trying to fit it in there. Too good leaves. The 4, 6, 7 really has opened the door for Brennan. It seems like no one can win 2 matches in a row. And if I'm Bogner sitting on the side, I'd rather bowl Brennan than Granger.
Oh, yeah. I would too. You know, but with 2 chances, I don't know. I would think he'd feel he could win one of the 2 matches.
Absolutely. Right here, he's playing just right of the 4th arrow. That ball hits right over the 4th arrow. Left of target, hooks way too soon, right through the heart of the pins. Doesn't get the break. And again, all the breaks have gone Brennan's way. His mistakes have gone far enough left, or if he has hit the nose, he's broken up the split. The difference now in this match, 23 pins. Pervis, to have any chance, has got to strike here.
Seems like every match, one of the bowlers has been in this position. They have to set up a strike in the 9th.
That's his first one of the match. He did not throw that ball well either. Kind of lost it off his hand. Went high, tripped out the 4, 7, 10, but keeps him alive. Makes Brennan keep a good count and mark twice. And we take a look here. It kind of slipped off his hand. A little double dribble there. Goes high, but the 2-pin gets the 4 and the 7, and the 6 kind of nudged out the 10.
He's really going to need to at least 9-count spare both frames. Can't afford to lose too much pin count. On a 2:06 pace at this point.
Gives it room. Very good shot. His
Great
best shot really of the match on that lane. Leaves the 10-pin.
Okay, he made the shot. That had to give him some confidence, step up in the 10th, and hopefully make some good shots.
A spare here. Same thing in a spare in the 10th. And then the same thing again is worth another at least 25,000 to him.
Second place, 50,000. Third place, 25,000. And it could mean all the way up to
75,000.
Yeah.
At that spare. 25 years of age, but he's handling the pressure very well. Pervis looks up at the score, knows the situation. Right now, actually, he needs 9 spare strike to lock him out.
Exactly. That would give him a 2:04.
And there's the scoreboard.
Leading by 22, but because of Pervis' strike in the 9th, Pervis has the opportunity to pick up some pins.
Well, this is the lane that he chose to finish on. A strike here, and it's all over. What a shot.
Beauty.
What a shot. Pervis closes his eyes and knows he got beat by a good shot. A little flick up of the eyes there by Brennan as he looked at Pervis. We see that ball come in light right here and just destroy the 5. He couldn't have done it any better, Jan.
Well, he really still needs 9 pins on 2 balls. So he does still have to hit the pocket.
Standing up there, though, thinking in the back of your mind, 9 pins on 2 balls, you're telling yourself, I can handle that.
You can relax.
I can handle that.
Yeah.
Which to me, being, you know, right now, relaxed and confident is the right thing to be, the right way to be mentally.
And you were right. You could see how relaxed he was on that shot.
Little shake of the hand by Pervis. Knows that he didn't get the breaks in this match, but that Brennan came through at the end when he needed to. A clean game, a strike here, and you wind up with 215.
Pervis, Granger, 25,000 for 3rd place. Well, second 2 years ago, 3rd place this year, but I bet you he'll be back each and every year. Tom Brennan will advance to face Kurt Bogner, but first when we come back, we'll show you some crucial shots and some surprise guests. Don't go away. It's the final match of the International Eliminator first place prize of $100,000 double elimination tournament. Here's what happened in the first championship match.
Kurt Bogner had just nothing but trouble right here. He's in the 6th frame, working on a spare, down 20 pins in the match. And right through the heart of the pins, the 4, 6, 7. Meanwhile, Tom Brennan just cruising along. He's working on 4 in a row, heading into this frame. Throwing strikes all over, and Bogner couldn't get a strike.
Tom Brennan defeated Kurt Bogner 242 to 144. This is it. It's a $50,000 match between the two of them. $100,000 for first, $50,000 for second place.
And all the psychological advantage is with Brennan. We see the difference there. 2 games. He's got 8 strikes on 19, 6 on 20. Most of those Brooklyn, but nevertheless, he's found a way to get it done.
He's definitely finding a way to score, and that's all that counts right now. Although pressure was on him last game. He could have been eliminated. Kurt should have had less pressure, so we'll see what happens.
Excellent opening shot, solid 10. But remember, Kurt started that way the last game, too. So left a solid 10 the first time and then hardly hit the pocket again after that.
He's looking a little bit disheartened there.
Well, you like to get off for a quick start, especially when you know your opponent is not really solid. 142. I mean, right now Bogner liked to bowl in any other pair in the bowling establishment. Cross lane at the 10 pin.
No problem with that. And I want to introduce Lori Tesmar. She's the Director of Operations for Turbo 2-in-1 Grips. Lori, welcome.
Thanks. Nice seeing you guys again.
You're a sponsor in this event. Turbo 2-in-1 actually sponsors the seniors brackets. Are you pleased with the success here?
Most definitely. We've been involved now. This is our 3rd year. And in the last few years, with amateur bowling competition heating up, these tournaments, the International Eliminator and its sister tournament, the Mini Eliminator, has been tremendously important in progressing the amateur ranked, the amateur competition.
And you're involved also as sponsorship in the Mini Eliminator?
Most definitely. Hosted here at Samstown once again in June. This year, the prize fund will be increasing from $30,000 to $50,000 for first place, so it should be pretty exciting. At
the 6-10, Kurt has the spare.
Still not lined up on lane 20, though, Mike.
Hardly lined up on any lane right now, but the important thing is there's 9 frames to go, and he's still even.
And that Mini Eliminator event, again, call 1-888-617-6081. Triangle Bowl, his hometown bowling center.
Trying for a strike here, gets it into the pocket, gets his first strike. Didn't have one in the 142 game.
And he ran that one out.
Good lift. Ball makes a rotation. Inside angle comes in half pocket. And we can't see it, but that 6 snapped that 10 right out there. Lori does that every time.
Oh, most definitely.
You're a bowler also?
Yes, I bowl recreationally back home once a week on a league.
And the average is?
170.
170. Yeah. And of course, you attribute that to the Turbo 2-in-1 grips.
That's right. Couldn't do without them.
So if you improve your average a little bit, are you going to come out here and try this event?
I don't know about that. I mean, I travel a lot with my job, and you really got to put a lot of time and effort into it, both physically and mentally.
And we see an error, no break this time on lane 20 for Tom Brennan.
Yeah, he's been getting all the breaks in both matches, this time right through the heart of the pins, the 4-6. And basically probably just go for the 1 as we see the opening shot that happens when you hit there. It's supposed to happen. Boy, he double kissed that pin and got it rolling over there.
Yeah, almost picked that up. Well, a lot of women do bowl this event, Laura. This year, 27 ladies, 74 seniors, so a lot of different people bowl this event.
That's outstanding. I mean, that's one of the reasons also why we're so happy to be involved, because there's so many different types of bowlers, men and women and seniors now, and it's been really great.
And plus, this is an international event with people from all different countries coming. The Far East, and Turbo 2-in-1 Grips is in other countries besides the U.S., right?
That's right. I just returned from Hong Kong and Japan last December, and where we got to see see a lot of different bowling.
And you probably saw a lot of that helicopter type style. Pervis Granger told us about it earlier today. Although here's a lady who doesn't have a helicopter style, Brenda Norman. She was the winner of the women's division.
She has a great smile, though.
Great smile, great game. But that type of bowling where they spin the ball.
Right, we witnessed a lot of that over there. That is getting to be quite a different angle on bowling.
They use an 11-pound ball.
Right.
Would probably make it easier to make this spare right now. The baby split. He wants to hit the 3-pin on the right. He did it with a heavy ball.
He did.
Excellent shot under that kind of pressure.
So they actually spin the ball, Mike. The ball rotates.
They spin the ball off of their thumb. The ball rotates on the axis of about a quarter going down the lane. So the lane condition really isn't a factor. They're basically trying to hit the head pin either on the right side or the left side. The ball will deflect, depending on what side it hits, into all those pins, the 1, 3, 6, 10. It'll take them all out.
And those players could probably do well here at the International Eliminator.
I would imagine on any tough condition that they'd be a threat.
Okay, did you see that, Mike? I think he picked up a bowling ball. He set it back down and picked up another ball. I don't know if he picked up the wrong ball or if he made a change.
He picked up the wrong ball because he has a spare ball out there, too. High the first time, 2, 4, 5, light this time, but he had trouble getting out of that ball cleanly.
No, he's running that out. He thought that was going to finish for him.
Well, he'd gone high the last time, so he made some kind of an adjustment, maybe 2 boards left with his feet and 1 with his target, and it just didn't make it up. That's why it's such a tough condition this week.
Lori, did you just get here today, or have you been here part of the tournament?
I got in late last night and got to see the last few matches yesterday evening.
Did you? They were exciting, weren't they?
They were very exciting.
Something interesting there that Kurt just does. Normally, when he leaves the 2-4-5 or the 2-5, he throws a backup ball at it. He didn't that time. He missed the 2-4-5 or the 2-5 in the previous match. He just threw it dead straight at the 2-pin this time, just like he's doing right there. All 3 pins with the ball.
Well, he learned something.
Yes, he did, and he's not afraid to make a change like that. He's still got a 13-pin lead. It suddenly went to 10.
It did with that 7 count. He's going to try and pick this spare. Will he change balls? He is changing balls. And Lori, do you do that as a 170 bowler? Do you use a spare ball?
No, I have 2 different balls that I use. Depending on the lane condition, if they're really oily or really dry. But I tend to just stay with the same ball, both for my first and second ball.
There's that backup ball, and he got the spare.
Well, to the right side, I see a little more benefit to throwing that backup ball.
Well,
so
you know,
how
many times have we chopped the 2-5 or the 2-4-5, even when we're trying to throw it straight, you know? So that's probably why he does it. But I found it interesting that he didn't want to do it in this kind of pressure situation.
Tom Brennan trailing by 10 pins. This time, a different scenario. Was in the lead last match from early on.
But he's right in this match, and he knows that Bogner is not lined up at all. Good speed. Doesn't make it back, leaves the 2-pin. And this is going to be one of those matches, I think, you know, the guy that makes the spares and just hangs on there by the fingernails is going to emerge the winner.
Yeah, spare shooting is going to be huge. You can see neither player lined up right now, which is hard to believe since Tom Brennan just got off this pair and was throwing strikes left and right.
At the 2-pin, doesn't want to make any careless mistake here. Wasn't covered fully, but he got it. Little shake of the head right there, and the difference right now is 9 pins. So. Oh, actually, it's 11 pins. I'm sorry.
11 pins.
Yep. Well, I just need another little course in mathematics or addition here.
Kurt Bogner sitting there tapping his thumb. A little bit of nervous energy.
And again, Brennan holding that ball over the hand dryer to get all the moisture out of that thumb hole. On the left lane, high again. Baby split again, 2 in a row on that lane.
Boy, they're struggling right now.
But if he makes the spare, he keeps himself in the ball game. We see way left, but the ball hooking too soon. He just gave it a little too much room. The frame before is just so critical. Right now, he's just trying to repeat the shot he did in the 3rd frame here in the 5th to convert this spare.
almost misses that spare, Lori Tesmar. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for Turbo's 2-in-1 sponsorship here. Well, we'll be back. 5 frames left. Who will win that $100,000? Kurt Bogner now leading by 37 pins. We bowled through a few frames. Kurt had split in the 5th, then came back in the 6th here with this strike.
And then in the 7th, he followed it up with one more. That is live right through the heart of the pins, leaving the 610. And here's the replay of his double, which gave him this 37-pin lead. Very good shot. His first strike in 2 games on the right lane. His first double in both games. Right now, he's up by 35 if he can make this spare.
And Tom Brennan did not fare so well. He had a 5-count washout while we were on.
Has the spare, and as lost as Bogner was the game before, Brennan is that lost this game, down by 35. To have any chance, he's got to get a couple of strikes here.
He could still shoot 187.
Which is could win.
Right, Kurt on a 192 pace, he can force him to mark out.
Which right now is a iffy proposition. But Brennan has only hit the pocket the first frame. He left a 10-pin, has not gotten to the 1-3 since then. On the Brooklyn, and leaves just the 5-pin to keep any faint hopes alive. Previous 2 matches, Brennan had 14 strikes. This one 0.
That's amazing. I mean, how, and not even close.
Well, remember, you know, in the first match against Granger, he had 2 or 3 Brooklyns. He had a Brooklyn or so in the last game.
And the breaks are all gone this game.
Well, it's just kind of caught up with him. As we see the scoreboard right there, it can still win. I mean, it's very faint hope, but it's still a possibility.
Right. Tom Brennan's best possible score at this point would be, what, 177?
Right. It just takes one bad open to put Bogner's into the 170s. So a bad count and an open. So if Brennan could strike here in the 9th frame, he'd get Bogner's attention at least. Threw it so hard to get it into the 1-3 pocket, and such a deep angle, leaves the 8-10.
And it really looked like it was driving, though, Mike. It did.
Well, it bounced like one of those 11-pound balls over in Taiwan. So that basically has wrapped it up. Bogner just needs to keep it on the lane. The best that Brennan can finish with is 154 if he would strike out. Bogner going at a 192 pace, just keep it on the lane, get a decent count.
Yeah. He just needs some pins here this frame.
That's enough right there. He's got it. That's a winner right there.
Kurt Bogner, the winner of the $100,000 International Eliminator this year. Whew.
Wow.
And it wasn't pretty. And
you know, in between matches, he lost that last match at 142. He took a walk, went over here and stood by himself, was all by himself, and then came back and regrouped. Right to the heart, but he doesn't care at this point because that check is his. The handshake by Brennan.
But look at his face. He is not happy with his performance. He just won $100,000, and he's not happy with his performance.
I think you're reading him exactly right. You can ask him about that.
Well, he did not want to win that way, but he did want to win. So.
Well, the 2 strikes he threw, you know, and the 1 in the 9th frame, all good shots.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
they were key at that point. Sure.
You know,
close it up.
He only had 1 open in this game. He missed the baby split back in the 5th frame.
Tom Brennan finishing in 2nd for $50,000.
And ironic that Bogner got no strikes in the previous match, and Brennan has none in this game, both in the 140s.
Kurt is going to step back up now. He did not throw his fill ball in the 10th frame.
Well, they're just going to get it on because we know what the result is. It would make no difference if Kurt did not throw this font. He would finish with 182 then and still be a winner. As it is, he finishes with 192.
And there's his fiancée, Christy Falter.
Who is in tears.
She couldn't breathe yesterday, Mike, and I can't imagine now. Oh, there she goes. She's
very
walking
emotional.
away. And everybody's congratulating. Congratulations all around for our newest champion, Kurt Bogner. $100,000. We'll be back to talk to him and find out just how he did feel about that match. There's your winner of the 1998 International Eliminator, Kurt Bogner. And Mike Kaufman, Director of Bowling here at Samstown, to present the trophy.
Kurt, on behalf of Samstown and all of our fine sponsors that make this event possible, it's my pleasure to present you with this trophy to commemorate your victory here this week. Great bowling all week.
Thank you very much.
Way to go, Kurt.
Thank you.
And coming on in with, I know, Kurt, what you're looking for, the check for $100,000. It's Joe Fiscaldo. He's in a new position here, Senior Vice President and General Manager of Samstown.
Kurt, to go along with that trophy, Samstown Hotel Gambling Hall in Las Vegas, and Boyd Gaming is proud to present you the championship check of $100,000. Congratulations. Great job, guys. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's a big check.
Yeah.
Samstown did a really good job. They always do. It's a nice place to come to, the rooms and everything, the whole casino. It's just a nice place, nice atmosphere to be. Good place.
Thank you very much, Kurt. Congratulations to you again. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back in just a few moments to talk with our champion. We're back again with the winner, Kurt Bogner. Just won $100,000 here. Mike?
Kurt, after the first game, struggle all the way through. When you were throwing strikes in practice, you took a little walk over to the side, got over there by yourself, and when you came back, you seemed like a different bowler and a different person. What was going through your mind at that time?
All the lights, the TV show. This is something somebody dreams about, and then I think maybe it doesn't really hit you until you get here. And I thought I could do really well, but obviously it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be.
So how did you regroup? When you went over by yourself, how did you get it back together?
I just don't like to get beat, to be honest with you, and I just thought I wanted to beat the lanes more than I did the other opponent, and I don't know. It still didn't work very good, and I just thought maybe I could just...
Well, congratulations, Kurt Bogner. He is the winner of the 1998 International Eliminator. For Mike Durbin, I'm Jan Schmidt. Thanks for watching. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.